Okay, so y'all are still here. We kind of left off, and I lost some of the comments. Okay, so I was reading the comment when I asked you all. I said after I done said everything, like I didn't apologize to them, and everybody had got like dead silent. And I was asking you all, was like, what makes you all like here in this context? Why do you all think they got all quiet? What do you think that was about? So we can like continue answering that question. Thank y'all. Cause yeah, I lost the comments. But yeah, but anyway, we can move forward from that part. We can move forward from that. But anyway, that's what happened that day. And it was like, it'd be like little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So at this point now, I'm looking back and I'm like, I know I've healed a lot from what has happened. I know I've gone through so much, but the whole purpose of being in that predicament, I feel, was because of my light. That these women, these little girls had their own issues going on, and instead of them dealing with it, they just would rather project all of their energy onto me. And what had happened is eventually it got to a point where it was just enough was enough. I had to leave. I had to get up out of there because they just, every single time I turned around, I was involved in some drama with them. So it had got to a point where I ended up having to like leave, go inactive with the chapter, drop out of school. And even when I left, the girl that was causing all of those problems in my life was causing problems in everybody else's life. So while she's trying to sit up here and try to say that Terry was the problem, she was the problem because when Terry left, those problems still persisted. And what had happened is a couple of people had ended up reaching out to me when I had dropped out and came home in 2019. And they were like, yeah, girl, like Kiara did this, and she did that. And I'm just sitting here like, I could tell them I told you so. But instead, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm really sorry that happened. And I think the reason as to why they reached out to me is because like a unspoken, I knew you dealt with a lot of wrath from her and we didn't believe you. I am so sorry. I'm letting you know that like she's crazy. I believe you now. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. People be so selfish that they don't know how abusive somebody is until it happens to them. Oh, I love that. Thank you. They said, when you said sorry, they recognized your power. When the superior spirits talk, the others go to shut up. Yes. That's another thing that I have felt too. Like when I was thinking about this, like I was purging this pain back in like earlier in the spring, like earlier this year. And that's confirmation for me because I was just like God came and just shut that whole thing down. It was just like she gave y'all what y'all wanted and y'all don't say a goddamn thing to her. Leave her alone. Right. She'll keep causing problems because she needs to heal from childhood trauma. And that's the thing. Like, this is how narcissists are created because of childhood trauma. You know what I'm saying? But because of what she went through, that doesn't give you the right to just like, why are you making your line sister's life miserable, creating all these rumors about her because you mad at your mama? Like, make it make sense. She didn't hurt you. And the thing is, they didn't even realize that I was going through stuff too, that I had came from divorced parents, that I was a black sheep of my family, that I was bullied constantly. They looked at me, they looked at the end result. I wasn't even at my peak yet, and they was pissed. And I'm like, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. They had to shut up. You carry you carry the spirit of authority. Mm-hmm. They don't care about healing. Exactly. That's the thing. They cause all of this trauma in everybody else. But then one thing about, I love this platform. I love that we are able to talk about the stuff that we've been through, and people can help to validate your experiences. Because when I've talked to my family about this, like I tried talking to my dad about the issues that I've been through. Now my dad's he's in a fraternity as well. He's in one of the black ones. And he basically was saying, like, what you went through was just growing pains. That's just something that normal people go through. And I'm like, no, there's a difference between growing pains and being bullied and abused. I was abused. And he wasn't trying to hear that because my dad's a narcissist himself. But anyway. So it's like, imagine growing up in a narcissistic family, being the black sheep, the scapegoat child, dealing with childhood trauma, childhood neglect, going off to school, being bullied and chastised and ostracized by all of your peers, having poor friends, losing all of your friends, then going off to college, feeling like, maybe I'll be like first year of college. Well, I was super miserable and I transferred to a different university, transferred to another university, wanted to join a sorority, thought I was going to get a sisterhood, thought that things were going to be so well. But it's like, I realized that I was able to manifest what I wanted in my life, but I was manifesting from a bad, like, I was manifesting more so from a place of flesh, not from a place of the soul, because it wasn't something that my soul needed. It was something that my flesh wanted. So although I was able to manifest this into my life, the way that it turned out did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. And it's like, I got the exact opposite of what I was looking for, And this doesn't mean that I'm going to go ahead and denounce my letters, because no, I've been through that stuff and I am a living testimony that I'm staying in this for life. I'm staying in this for life, Omega Rho, when I pass away. But I'm at this point now where I'm not about to go denounce. It's going to be my testimony, because there are other women that, not even just women that are Sigma Gamma Rhos, but I mean other women in other NPHC, Divine Nine fraternity, sororities that have gone through this situation that do not speak about it. So let me be the one that speaks up for us, because I've been through it. I've been through it. Because all these people that want to talk all of this crap, it's like, baby, if you ain't never been in the Divine Nine, if you ain't never been through the process, if you ain't never been in the chapter meetings, you can't say anything, because you don't know. You really don't know. Because people be trying to say like, oh, they say this, but they be lying. No, bro, we really say we're telling you the truth. People don't haze anymore because chapters are getting expelled from campuses. They don't haze anymore. But even though they don't necessarily haze you in the process, it doesn't mean that these are not narcissistic people that are abusing you when you get on the yard. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Right. Yes. So. Living testimony. Because many people deal with narcissistic abuse without even realizing that they're going through that. Now, I definitely want to talk more about this, because I was definitely just all over the place with this. But I really want to go deeper into it and really, give more detail about what was said to me, give more detail about what was said about me, give more detail about, because I didn't tell you all everything that was said in that meeting. I haven't told you all everything. But follow me on this journey. Follow me on this journey as we talk more about narcissistic abuse. Because as I am telling my story about what I've been through, I'm also incorporating and teaching you exactly like this are signs of narcissistic abuse. This is what was, in a way of telling my story, because I have to release this. And if I could go through all of that abuse and heal and overcome, so can you. Listen, not everybody, this is not to say that everybody has to come out here and have a whole platform, and not everybody's meant to do that, okay? Now, personally, me, this just kind of came to me. I've been on TikTok for 2 years, and I'm such an introvert, you know what I'm saying? Like, Terriann Belle and Terry are like two totally different people. So people that know me in real life and then they see me here on live, they just be like, bro, you talk this much? Yeah, because Terry is very much an introvert, very reserved. Terriann Belle is more of the extrovert, the one that can talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was developed through all of that. They carry the same pain, but you know what I'm saying? So me being such a shy, reserved person, wouldn't think that I would have to be out here doing this kind of stuff. But you know, sometimes like God just calls you to the front. God just calls you to be out there because of stuff that we went through. And I would definitely say, speak up about what has happened to you. Speak your truth. Speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Don't worry about protecting people's reputation because they ruined their own reputation by how they treated you. Don't worry about wrecking their image. Their image is already wrecked because they don't have an image. Because they're more worried. It's like, oh, my image. Okay, what about your character? You care more about your image than your character? You are already down the rabbit hole. So do not spare your abusers. Do not hide and suffer in silence to protect your abusers because they didn't care when they were abusing you, right? So you should not care when it comes for you speaking your truth about what you've been through because, baby, all you are doing is speaking your truth. Even if they have outgrown that version of themselves. That version of them still cause a person trauma and pain that they are healing from. And people can't avoid that. People have to face the music about what they have done to somebody. To this day, they still deny everything that they've done to me. And that's when I realized that my healing is not based off of them taking accountability for what they've done or apologizing to me. My healing comes from me healing myself, processing through my emotions, validating my experiences. Same for you. Narcissists may not apologize to you. They may not even admit what they've done. The best thing for you to do is to just leave them where they're at and move on with your life because your absence is going to speak much louder than your presence. When your absence is gone and they realize why you have not come back to them, they're going to have to start to self-reflect and they're going to eventually go through, hopefully they heal and they go through an awakening so they have the awareness of what they've done. Like, I know that I've had moments in my past that I have been a bully, I have been mean, I have been nasty to people. But as nasty as they were to me, I wasn't as nasty to people like that. These people took it too far. Some of the stuff I felt was my karma for the abuse and the bullying that I did to other people when I was a child. So I'll accept that. And when I went through that, it made me go back to two of my high school best friends that had cut me off and left me alone because I had finally realized that I was a toxic one of the situation, that I was wrong. We have all been a toxic one. And sometimes it takes for you, you know, being on the receiving end of toxicity to understand. So, but the thing is, you know, yes, I was able to understand because I caught the wrath of it, but also at the same time, they took it too far. They took it way too far. Like, yes, you can understand, but when it's so much of it, it's like, okay, that was too much. And the thing is, that was the thing. These people really had no remorse for their behavior. Like, they just, it was constant. It was back to back to back. No remorse for what they've done. And it was like they were going to continue to abuse me and mistreat me as long as they had access to me. So when I removed myself and I left, they no longer had access to me. That's when the abuse stopped. That's when it stopped. And eventually, like, I had came home in 2019, and then a whole year later, I end up going down to visit in the summertime for one of my line sisters' birthdays. And then we go over there, and I'm thinking that maybe they have changed. Maybe things are different. Maybe things will be okay. I was wrong. I went down there in the summer of 2020. And when we went down there, they did the same exact things that they had been doing to me before. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm really done with y'all now. And I had ended up like sending them a message in GroupMe. And I was like, I really want nothing to do with you people anymore because you clearly have shown that you do not love me. You do not care about me. You don't even like me. I'm not even going to allow that into my life anymore. I've healed so much. I'm good. I'm gone. Thank you. And one thing is, our line name was called 6DOS. And the 6 standing for the 6 people. They would try to do stuff where they would try to ostracize me and say, no, our line is 5DOS. We're kicking you out. So what I basically did is the last thing that I said to them was, good riddance, 6DOS. Like, no. I said, good riddance, 5 DOS because that's what y'all wanted anyway. I said, y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. So the very things that they mocked me for, I threw it right back in their face. So what they do? They old popped asses got on a fucking like group FaceTime. And then I had told them that they were gaslighting me and everything. So what they basically do was all of their ugly asses had got on. You know, that's wrong. That's wrong. Forgive me, Lord. That's wrong for saying that. But they had all got on a group FaceTime. And they were just like, you know, they had basically took this screenshot talking about and that's some gaslighting for your ass. But the thing is, I'm like, baby, y'all bonnets. Y'all looking just so like, the picture that they took of themselves. I'm like, baby, first of all y'all look ugly as fuck. Second of all, the fact that all 5 of y'all had to get on the group FaceTime to talk about me? Moi? When I left y'all, after I left that message, I went on about my life. I was probably smoking blunt, not even worrying about them, but they had to get on the group FaceTime to talk shit about me. Yeah. When you that fucking powerful. When you that damn powerful. Still to this day, don't talk to them. Don't mess with them. They don't know me. They don't know me anymore. Now, one thing that I've seen is that one of them, the oldest one, the one who was like the captain, she has a baby now. She has a son. Congratulations to her. I actually saw that on Facebook, and I had like sent her like a congratulatory, like, congratulations on your. That's the one that I feel like has probably changed or turned over a new leaf, because like she's a parent. Her life is different now. She sees life differently now. So I feel optimistic that like maybe the oldest one has changed. But the rest of them, I can't say. The one that caused the most problems, I don't know. I really don't care. But, you know, God does say for us to pray for our enemies. And even though that may be the last thing that we want to do, the reason why it's important for us to pray for our enemies is because it helps us to release that anger and release that hurt and release that resentment that we have towards them. You know what I'm saying? It really helps us to release that. So so even though that may be the last thing that you want to do, that's going to keep your blessings flowing. You praying for them. In moments when the thoughts come up, instead of you arguing with them in your head or thinking of a bunch of negative things to say to them and thinking they could just go fuck themselves, just be like, Lord, I thank you so much for delivering me from that circumstance. Lord, please forgive me for all of the hurt that I have caused those people. Lord, please forgive me for all of the negative things that I have said about those people. Lord, please, please help me to forgive all of those women. Lord, please help me to remove all of this anger that I'm harboring towards them. Please, Lord, help me to give peace in this situation. However you need to do it. However you need to do it, do that. Pray in those moments. Because honestly, that is going to help you heal. You feeding more into the negativity is not helping you heal. And that's what I've realized too. That when I think about it and I get all riled up and I get all angry, it's only hurting me. It's only hurting me. Yes, my anger is justified. Yes, my hurt is justified. I was abused for 2 years. The time that I was with these people was 2017 was like spring 2017 to spring 2019. A 2-year span of nothing but torture. You see this charm in my eyes? Yeah, baby. I can never let those people back in my life. Ever. But I will say that you can overcome. You can heal. And just breathe. Yeah. One of them even tried to apologize and stuff like that, but no. And there's another time. Okay, y'all want to hear this story. So what had happened is when I ended up dropping out of school at the beginning of the semester in 2019, I stayed at my apartment down at school for 2 months. And I didn't leave until March. But what happened was, I stayed at this apartment called The Edge. And one of my line sisters, the one that I told y'all about, Deuce, the one that was the meanest one, she lived also at The Edge. And she also worked at the front desk. So she worked like with the leasing. She was like a leasing consultant. So what had happened was I ended up moving out, and I didn't say anything to anybody. I mean, I said something to my roommates. Of course, I had told them. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna move out, y'all. But I didn't tell nobody else that I was going home. So when I had finally went home in March, one of my roommates ended up coming down to the front desk. This was like a couple of days after I had left. So what had happened is Deuce, too, she was always trying to use me for money, for weed. Like, she would say, like, because I always had weed. She would try to either, buy some of my weed or say, like, can I just have it and I could just pay you back in a couple of days? No. So that's what she was doing. Like, the only time she would hit me up is when she wanted something, when she needed something. And the thing is, she didn't even need it because she worked way more. She worked more hours than I did, and she was getting paid more than me. So she honestly had more money than me, but narcissists, they don't want to spend their own money. So what had happened was she still was getting supply. And when a narcissist, when you leave before they're ready to discard you, when you leave when they still need your supply, they're not going to take that very well. So when I left, and a couple of days later, my roommate goes down to the front desk. And then basically Kiera, my line sister, was having a conversation with my roommate. And then my roommate was like, oh, well, Terry moved out. And then she like, wait a minute, she moved out? She didn't tell me she moved out. Why'd she move out? So instead of Kiera just kind of just texting me and being like, hey, your roommate came down here and told me that you moved out. When'd you move out? Like, be honest, bro. Be honest. But instead of her doing that, she had to call me from her work phone, from her work job, and was like, hi, like, aren't you looking to get, like, she was basically asking me about a lease or something like that. Like, aren't you looking to get like a 12-month lease or an 8th month or a 10-month? I'm like, let me call you back. She was fishing for information. I knew what she was doing. So I ended the call. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't talk right now. I got off the phone. And then what she does next is she texts me and was like, why did you move out? So this is what I do to see what she was gonna say. Now I probably was being a little petty with her. I was. Instead of me just coming straight up and telling her, I was just like, well, what makes you think I moved out? I'm having a conversation with her via text. I'm like, what makes you think I moved out? I moved out. She lying her ass off talking about I sent you a text the other day. Didn't you get it? No, I didn't get it. Oh, well, you know what? I think that, like, my phone reset and making up some bullshit excuse, lying as she goes along. And I'm like, oh, okay. And after I got done just sitting there watching her just bullshit through herself, just lying her ass off, I'm just like, next time if you want to ask me a question about I'm like, you know what? This is what I said. I'm like, you know what? I really don't appreciate you calling me from your job, asking me about my personal information. I don't appreciate that. So she did not take that very well because narcissists feel entitled to your life. They feel entitled to your business. So what she does is she's like, it wasn't even about that. I swear, let me explain. And I'm like, no, I really don't want you to explain. I was going through it, bro. I really wasn't trying to deal with her petty bullshit. I have enough problems of my own that I'm dealing with. Like, more, like, I don't want to deal with the trivial shit when I have more complex stuff to worry about right now. I'm like, baby, this is little children shit. I got grown shit to worry about right now. I'm not worried about this petty bullshit what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, she's sitting here trying to like plead her case and everything like that, and I wasn't allowing her to. She's calling my phone. I'm ignoring all of the calls. I didn't want to deal with it. Narcissists hate to be ignored. They hate being ignored. So what she did was, she's like, answer your phone. Please answer the phone for me. Please just let me explain, please. It goes from begging and pleading to demanding and being abusive. So when I wasn't answering the phone for her, and she's like, answering the phone for her, then she gonna say, okay, no, you seriously need to answer this phone. Answer this phone right now. You need to answer this phone. Baby, the phone that I paid for? The phone that's in my name? So I go a complete sentence with 2 letters, I'm sorry. A complete sentence, 1 word, 2 letters, no. I told her no. That was it. That was the only message I sent. I just said no. She got mad. She didn't like that. So she starts going off. She starts sending me nasty messages, starts talking about like just really trying to come at my character. She was saying a bunch of stuff like, that's why you're insecure and At the time, I had changed my name on Facebook to Reina, Queen in Spanish. And I was just calling myself Queen or whatever like that. I was changing my name at the time for whatever. So she had basically said, you know, if you're she's like, you're so insecure. That's why you go by a fake name. She hit me where that hurt. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I got something for you. I got something for you now. And I was just like, oh, are you jealous? And I'm not jealous of your bald-headed ass. That's beautiful bald head to you. And then she goes, no, you're really not, though. Anytime you tell a baddie that she's ugly, that at that point, it's just like, baby, you just saying anything because you and I both know I'm not ugly. This is the one that tried to call me ugly. That one right there. Look, take a good look at her. Take a good look at her. Good look. Because let me tell you what I said to her. Because like when she tried to call me ugly, I was like, oh baby, you do not want to go there with me. And then she was just like, go there. I dare you. And I said, you dare me? You dare me. So I say to her, you are burnt as charcoal, ugly, insecure, jealous ass bully. You hate me because I am everything that you are not and I have everything you don't have. It kills you that you are slim, lighter skin, and pretty with sex appeal. You know you want to be me. That's why you're so fucking obsessed with me. If you don't like me so much, then get the fuck out of my life, leave me alone, and hop up off my dick, bitch. That's what I said. I know it word for word. You see, I had to read. That's what it calls reading people for filth. Read her for filth. And the thing is, I could have been much worse. I could have been like, that's why you were a crack baby. Your mama didn't want you at birth. I could have said that. But nah, you don't. That could be my karma with my children. But I ain't gonna talk about her mama. I talked about her. And what did she do? She boo-hoo cried. And people probably looking at me like, well, why would you say all that to her? Remember the story I told you about how homecoming of 2017 when she bullied me out of nowhere and I sat there? She started doing a repeat of what she did like a whole year and a half later. So I was like, I'm not about to let you have that again. I'm about to stand up for myself. And I stood up for myself and I did it and I said what the fuck I said. And I don't feel no remorse for what I did because I had no more empathy for her at that point because, baby, she was talking about some, I don't give a fuck about what you're going through and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I got something for you. So she ended up crying and she went to everybody else and was rereading everything, crying every single time and all of that kind of stuff. And basically trying to make me feel like I was the villain. But it's just like, bro, look at what you just said to her before. That's exactly what you get. And then people try to look at me like, okay, both of y'all hit below the belt. Like, that whole colorism thing, like, that was the only thing I didn't like. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Shut your ass up, bro. Out of everything that she said, you worried about that? Well, let me tell you something. I said that because I wanted to hurt her feelings. You don't want the smoke. You see how badly I said that to her? That's the version that I can bring out if I want to. I guarantee you, I can make a person hate my guts. But if I make you hate my guts, it's probably because you have done something so horrible to me that I have no more empathy for you. And out of everything that I done been through, they still try to look at me like I was wrong for saying all of that to her. And it's like, yes, like, they be like, be the bigger person. No, because whenever I tried to be the bigger person with her, it wouldn't work. Sometimes with narcissists, you can't be the bigger person. Sometimes that ain't gonna work. Sometimes with narcissistic people, because of those demons, you gotta let them know, baby, those demons you got within you, I detained those demons. And if you want those to come out, they can come out if they want to. Because I had to pull that baby out. I had to say, go get her. Get her. Yeah, come on back. I had to let them know, don't you fuck with me, because I'm telling you, you don't want this smoke. You don't want that shit. Because you just realized what just happened. All of this rah-rahing, and you're the one that's boo-hooing. Don't play with me. They realize to not play with me. What y'all saying? They like to say that. I should have reported her to her job. Didn't think about that at the time. That's exactly what they wanted. They want to bring that out of you. They probably want me to get all riled up. She probably didn't think that I was going to read her for filth. She probably didn't think I was going to throw that right back at her. She doesn't have true feelings, just manipulation tactics. Yes, baby, say that. Say that, because they was like, she cried. Okay, she made me cry. Now we even. And, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, narcissistic people, they will be in cahoots with each other. They will sit up there and watch somebody be abused and not stand up. They are bystanders. Bullying and bystanders are just as bad. You're either a bully or you're a bystander. All of those people were either bullies. They were bullies and bystanders. And you know what's crazy? All of these years later, they still look the same. My glow up was immaculate. And I say that in the most humblest way possible. And it's not even just a glow up on my outer appearance, but it's a glow up on the inner one as well. Because they don't know me anymore. They knew me. But if they see me now, they won't arm's length. They won't even. Some people you gotta just keep at a distance, keep at arm's way. And that, like, yes, just pure evil. That's what it is. It just feels like evilness. Like, what do you do? Sometimes you gotta just fight evil with evil. I'm not saying that you gotta do that every single time. I'm not saying you gotta do that every single time. But if you try to be good to people, if you have tried to be good, if you have tried to handle people with love, if you have tried to walk away, and they still want to keep bothering you, you have every right to defend yourself. You are a warrior, and warriors have to fight. Because at this point, you got to protect yourself. Sometimes it's kill or be killed. There's a jungle out there. Yes, the new me is a truer me, because I was, honestly, I had to be real with myself. I did allow those people to talk to me crazy. And that's another thing that I kind of hold regret for in myself. It's just like, man, like, why did I let those people talk to me crazy like that? Like, but now it's at a point now where I'm like, I will never allow that to happen again. Never allow that to happen again. But it was for that, for me to recognize that power and that strength that I have within me. All of that pain is alchemizing into power now. All of it. So every single time that you go through narcissistic abuse is to give you more power. And listen, I had a whole chapter full of women come against little old me. 5'3", a $105. Actually, I'm not even that much. I'm like a $102. 5'3", a $102, and they came after me. And it's like, if all of y'all had to come against me and you still never defeated me, baby, you came after a warrior. They just soldiers. You can train a soldier, but I'm a warrior, baby. We warriors.